Welcome everyone to another top 10. I'm Old School Gamer 1971. Millie, Lloyd, everyone, I hope you're all having a great day. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, please like, comment and share. Check out my channel and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and puts a big old smile on this old face. Today's top 10 is PlayStation exclusives. For me, this is the main reason that I own a PlayStation. The list is comprised of exclusives, either console exclusives or full exclusives. All these games to me are big hitters and have kept me entertained over the years. I would recommend all of these games on this list highly, and honorary mentions too for that matter. Looking at this list, 3 games on this list are new IPs for this generation. The thing is, I know the next time I do this list, I will be looking at replacing around 5 games. Looking at the list, there will definitely be some tough decisions. The list covers the lifespan of the PlayStation 4, with RPGs, open worlds, narrative experiences, 3D platforming and adventure games all covered on this list. Yes, a couple of the games are remasters, but A, the originals were PlayStation exclusives, and B, I feel that the game is improved enough to feel that it's a real improvement over the last iteration, if not a new game. Please note, this list is what I reviewed until December 2018, so expect the likes of Spider-Man, Days Gone and Death Stranding to be on next year's list, to name but 3. My number 10, Ratchet & Clank, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2016 and was developed by Insomniac Games. So we start off with our furry friend and his metallic sidekick. Ratchet is a Lombax and Clank is a reject robot off the production line. Or is he? And whilst we lost the chicken gun in the remake, go and watch the early Ratchet & Clank trailer. It is so good. The characters are instantly recognisable to any PlayStation platform fan, or any fan for that matter of the PlayStation 2 era, the PlayStation's first golden age. I would say we may be having another one right now. These games have always looked great and certainly are hard to top in the 3D action adventure genre. The games have always had a great sense of humour about them. They have certainly made me chuckle over the years. The games are aimed at players of all ages. It never feels too stupid, it doesn't insult my intelligence, yet the stories are never overcomplicated. During the early years, Sony had so many mascots in waiting. Ratchet & Clank, Crash Bandicoot, Sir Daniel Fortescue, Spyro, Jak and Daxter and Sly Raccoon all could have laid claim to this title. Some of the characters have now moved to multi-platform, but Ratchet & Clank is still PlayStation only, and I do hope that one day soon we will get news of another entry into the franchise. Number 9, Infamous Second Son, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2014 and was developed by Sucker Punch. If you've played any of these games, you know why it's here. You start off with no powers and by the end you are totally OP and can save the world or destroy the world. An open world that you traverse using your powers. You can choose your path of either good or evil. And whilst those choices are a little obvious, the powers you get for each are so very different. The PlayStation 4 outings have looked so damn good. It runs so quick and those particle effects, man, they look amazing. In a way, I feel a little gutted that there's no sequel on the horizon. This game came out around the launch and gave fans a reason to update their consoles. To me, this is one hell of a franchise and has never had a bad entry yet. And if it could have made the launch window, would have been a much better launch title. It was out a couple of months later. I enjoy these games every time I play them, and for me, that's what I want from a game that draws me back and I'm happy every time I do. moving on to number 8, Persona 5. Came to the PlayStation 4 in 2016 and was developed by Atlas. This is one hell of a novel game, with balancing school life, socialising, special powers and fighting supernatural beings. Its style is all its own, and I can't think of anything that comes even remotely close. Soon in fact there's to be a Royal Edition, full of whistles and bells. This game has been exclusive to PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Every game in the series has been released for a PlayStation console or handheld. I've always been a fan of Japanese RPGs, and this is unashamedly Japanese. This is exactly what drew me to this game. So many companies would have toned down the style to appeal to a more westernized audience. Atlas changed nothing. More companies should take this approach, and the sales of this title proved that there is in fact a market for this style of game. Again, here proof if proof was needed that the variety of games for the PlayStation 4. To me, the crazy thing about this game is a cat that turns into a van for you all to travel around him. And my number 7, The Last of Us Part 1, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2014 and was developed by Naughty Dog. What started off as a fantastic swan song for the PlayStation 3 became an amazing title for the PlayStation 4, and history looks like it might repeat itself again with The Last of Us Part 2. The game set such a high standard and certainly raised the bar. Not just in the graphics department, the narrative smacks you right between the eyes, from the heart-wrenching beginning to the unbelievable ending. They are unforgettable, and certainly I feel that there is nothing else that comes even slightly close. The impact for most players, the reaction of most players. Naughty Dog has pretty much set the standard since the first Uncharted game, Drake's Fortune, for the PlayStation 3, and just when you think they can get no better, they blow you away with something new. For me, a new standard was set by God of War, Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption 2. God of War edges it in my opinion, but I can see why other people might argue otherwise. Now go back and look at that last trailer for The Last of Us Part 2 and realise it's been over a year since that last trailer. I know Naughty Dog are about to set that bar once again. This is a great game and shows what extra development time can mean, what can be achieved. This is a steal for the classics range, but when it is on sale, it is unmissable. Number 6, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2018 and was developed by Level 5. And so we move on to another fantastic stylized Japanese RPG with a proper grind and an amazing story to boot. Being honest, I expect nothing less of Level 5. Its style might fool you a little as it looks like a kid's cartoon, but its gameplay mechanics are aimed more at a teen to adult audience. Set in our world and the fantasy world, mostly in the fantasy world, it all looks and plays so polished. Nene always raved about the first game in the series, and quite rightly so. Again, that game is also highly polished. I always look forward to Level 5 games from Dark Cloud, White Knight Chronicles and Ni no Kuni are all great series with charm. With the original getting a remaster soon, I want to platinum them both. I cannot big up this game nor the series enough. I think the biggest thing I can say about this game is, during my mum's last days, on my days off I would sit up at night, and if she was awake, she would ask me to play the game with the boy looking for his mother. That was Ni no Kuni, Legend of the White Witch, which is the game that is getting a remaster soon. I never got to finish the game and my mum never got to see the ending, but I am determined to platinum the remaster. My number 5, Until Dawn, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2015 and was developed by Supermassive Games. So let's imagine I was cooking up a game. So we take the lid off the pot and we start with a bit of narrative experience. Then we add 3 tablespoons of amazing graphics, not forgetting a splash of those characters we recognise from the horror genre, and mix through with an equal measure of slasher lore, and top it off with 80s horror folklore and a sprig of Native American folklore, and dusted with Wendigo folklore. I love this game and feel really pumped for The Man of Medan, releases August 30th. For any horror fan, you need Until Dawn, with a mixture of people to like or let die, or sometimes even cause their deaths because they pissed you off so damn much. It does have a surprisingly good story once you understand everything. It also has a few jump scares along the way. Get those headphones on and play at night, I dare you. The game takes the time for you to get to know the characters. I like how they show you enough to formulate how you feel about them. It is cool how a small action can change everything. Not shooting a squirrel or finding an object, or sometimes even being too inquisitive, can change everything. The butterfly effect is executed most excellently in this game. Moving on to number 4, Shadow of the Colossus, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2018 and was developed by Blue Point Games. This is for anyone who can look at a fantasy game and absorb the story completely. When the PlayStation 2 version came out, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, they really had some great ideas that was just beyond what the console could achieve. It only ran at between 6 to 8 frames a second, yet somehow it worked. It pushed the PlayStation 2 to its limit, and the limitations of the console was plain for all to see. And yet still people played this and called it a masterpiece. Then we got the PlayStation 3 version, and finally it was recognised as the masterpiece that we had always been saying that it was. And then, out of nowhere, a PlayStation 4 version was announced, and to a degree I thought, why? And then you only need to look at it and play it to see why. This is what the game was always destined to be. Seeing the Colossi in their HD glory, watching each one fall into your sword and bow, all in the hopes to see your loved ones return to life. This plays as good as it looks. Get it, as you won't be disappointed. My number 3, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2016 and was developed by Naughty Dog. And it all started with a tech demo for the PlayStation 3. There was no plan for a game until it wowed the audience. What followed was 3 outstanding games for the PlayStation 3 console, which got a remake for the PlayStation 4 as the Nathan Drake Collection. And then they released Uncharted 4, what is possibly Drake's swan song to the series, and if so, what a swan song. The story is bigger, the set piece is more elaborate, and the action is non-stop. With the release of Lost Legacy, this could very well be the last time we play as Drake. They really pushed the boat out with the visuals, setting the bar for the PlayStation 4 exclusives going forward, as it did the PlayStation 3 exclusives. The characterization is great in these games, and whilst the story may be a little cliched, it is very well written and straight out of an action movie. This series made Naughty Dog one of my favourite developers, and this game earned its place on my list. And my penultimate entry, Horizon Zero Dawn, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2017 and was developed by Guerrilla Games. In a way, you have to feel bad for Guerrilla Games, After all, it was somebody else that said Killzone was a Halo beta, and forever afterwards it was going to be compared to Halo. And whilst it was a good game in single player, a lack in multiplayer said it was never going to be a Halo beta. The controversy about the PlayStation 3 demo that never was really. After all, they said it was representative of the PlayStation 3 graphics, and Sony said that it was in-game. And Shadowfall, it just wasn't enough in my opinion. Good for a launch title, but it needed something more. And then they announced a new IP, and man is it good. Robots mixed with dinosaurs with a few animals thrown in for good measure. The map is beautiful and varied. It's also one hell of a big map. It was good to see real effort put into the game, and it paid off. The story draws you in and you feel for the characters. This set the bar in my opinion until God of War, but I still couldn't tell you if I could pick one game over the other. This is one to put on when someone tries to tell you your console is a kid's toy. I really enjoyed this game and feel it is almost essential that every true PlayStation hardcore gamer should have played this, if not owned this. And I am looking forward to February 2020 reveal of the PlayStation 5. Because I called February 2020 about 6 months ago, and I am now calling Horizon Zero Dawn 2 to close out the show. And my number one, God of War, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2018 and was developed by Santa Monica. And whoops, I kinda gave it away earlier, didn't I? This was a real turnaround for the franchise and for Santa Monica. After Ascension, they had to rethink as their direction had been totally wrong, and they needed to not just revitalise the story. The Greek god story was done and dusted. All was quiet for a long time, and then the trailer dropped. Time had passed, Kratos looked older, it looked jaw-dropping, and it only got better when we actually got the game. Its design is top notch from how it looks and definitely how it plays. The combat looks and feels different, and certainly there is much satisfaction to be had here. The first time you throw your axe and call it a back again, there's hours of fun in that alone. What puts this so highly in my opinion? This was unexpected. The games had a winning formula, and they changed it all so much it actually changed the game genre with what I would call an improvement to the gameplay. This is one to put on when friends want to see what the PlayStation 4 can do. This took the game to a whole other level, and it deserves the number one slot. Now, where's the trailer to the next entry? I reckon 2021. Trailer wise anyway. And it's done. I hope you all enjoyed this top 10. There is plenty more content like this on my channel. Check it out, and if you would, spread the word. Enjoy your day, one and all. This is Old School Gamer 1971, signing off.